Hey everyone, today we'll be going over graphs today. Particularly we will be focusing on adding an edge to our unweighted graph, and without any further hesitation, let's get started. And now we will be focusing on adding an edge for our unweighted graph. Now, to get things off, what we need to do is to build out our entire weighted graph, is that we're going to include our libraries. We're going to have a class, and we will have a public instance inside of our class so we can call upon different functions to put inside of our main function as well. And inside of our class, we are going to add an edge, remove a vertex, remove an edge, perform depth first search iteratively, do depth first search recursively, and then we will do the same thing, but we will do breadth first search as well. And so, for us to be able to get started, there are going to be 7 instances. We're going to include different STL libraries and our header file as well. 5, 6, 7. So I'm going to go IO stream, depending on what IDE you use, and maybe different. Then we would do vector. We're going to go stack for depth first search, queue for breadth first search, a list, then algorithm, and then we're going to include our header file right over here. .h already set up in place. I also have the links for the GitHub repository in the description below. So so that way you could be able to be able to plug and play at the same time. And then also don't forget using namespace std, so we're not using std multiple times. So now we're gonna have our class called unweighted graph, and I'm gonna put this over here. There we go. Now we're gonna have a public instance, so we can call upon different functions, and we're going to initialize our variables, our vertices, which will be int v. And then we're going to have our adjacency list in order to actually pull out our graph. So we're going to vector list int, and call this adj. Now, for us to be able to add an edge, what we're going to be doing is just do the following: void add edge, int v, int w, since a graph needs to have 2 vertices and an edge to be able to make the graph a graph. And so we're going to have adjacency v, push back for w, since both of them are connecting. And then we're going to have adjacency w, push back for v, so we know that these two are connected. Now we're going to head over to our main function, and then we're going to do the following. We're going to be adding our edges. So also part 2, we need to add a constructor, and our constructor is going to be the following. It's going to be unweighted graph with int v, respect to v, and adjacency resize as well. For v on the inside, so that way we can call upon our unweighted graph as well. So calling upon our constructor, and we will add an edge to our unweighted graph. So we're going to do unweighted graph, and then I'm going to call this, we can say graph. And since our constructor has a parameter of vertices, we're going to put in a number of vertices, which would be 6 in this case, because this is calling upon v, and then this is our number of vertices as well. So once we have done so, now we're going to add an edge or a series of edges to our unweighted graph. So we're going to go graph, because it's calling upon this variable from our constructor over here. And then we're going to have graph dot looks like we can add edge over here, and then we're going to have two vertices. So we have 0 and 1, and we're going to have 6 vertices in total. So I have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at edge here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, okay. Let's see what happens. So I have 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, and finally 5, 0. There we go. Now let me build this measure. Now we're going to build this and see if it's all good. And build has succeeded. Now let's print this graph out as well by going through and printing out unweighted graph printer, which we'll be calling upon as printer. And then we will be printing out the graph like this, printer dot print graph, like we did before over here, calling upon this function where we have here print graph, and we'll have our graph dot adjacency list that we're putting in inside of as a parameter. Notice, because we have a vector for our adjacency list that we made already here and that we have initialized here inside of our class for unweighted graph. So let me build this, make sure it's all good. All right, now let's run this. There we go. And let me just zoom out of here so we can see. And we have our unweighted graph. Notice in particular, we don't have any values like we had before for our weighted graph. And we already see the connectivity between such over what vertex is already connected with which, such as like 0 is connected between 1 and 5. And then we have 1, 0, 2 already connected with 1, 0, 2. So these vertices are really connecting with each other to determine what exactly, what form of connectivity we have in relation with it. And so this was adding an edge. All we did was just, we had a void function of add edge, we had our constructor, we had our vertices as well in several class, then we also added our libraries as well. Now let's move forward to removing a vertex within our unweighted graph. Hey everyone, thank you very much for taking time to watch this. If you found this video helpful, be sure and feel free to please like and subscribe. And if you do have any other questions or suggestions, please put them in the comment section. And as always, take care. Cheers. Bye-bye.